Dreams of Witches is a new book by Christina Oakley Harrington, published by Black Letter Press. This is a book that was kick-started last year, 2001, and this second edition was made available once the first editions had all gone out to their backers. Backers should be receiving their copies roundabout now. The first edition was actually in a dark blue material fabric cover, which was very, very luxurious, very beautiful. This is an Emitlin. Let me see if I can get a shot of the texture here. Maybe a little bit. Here we go. So you can see that this is textured paper, right? Nevertheless, quite beautiful. And then there's this beautiful image by Gustav Klimt, or should I say a reworking of an image by Gustav Klimt. The original work was called Fish Blood, and there's a terrifying looking fish head over here on the left-hand side, which I guess didn't really fit with the theme of the book, but this is quite a nice a nice design for the cover. So that's really, really nice. I'm not a huge fan, actually, of this teal color of the second edition, but then my wife told me that it's her favorite color, and it's actually one of the prettier books on my shelf, so it really is a question of taste. So let's talk a little bit about the contents of this book. Well, Christina Oakley Harrington, who is the founder of Treadwell's Books, by the way, in London. And that may not come as a surprise, because Treadwell's Books is quite heavily geared towards Wicca, right? As opposed to possibly Watkins' books, which is a little bit more geared towards ceremonial magic. But those of you who have been to Treadwell's Books in London will know exactly the style I'm talking about. And this whole book is essentially a compilation of quotations from various books and works that were available to Gerald Gardner when he was in the process of making the Wiccan religion available to the public. Now, what was the process of making that religion available to the public? Did he create it wholesale from the start to finish, as many people believe, or did he in fact join a coven in the New Forest and simply make the religion available? That's kind of what the introduction talks about a little bit. The author is clearly much better informed than I am. My my opinion on the matter is clearly different from hers, but that hasn't made it any less interesting to read her opinion. But that's really where her opinion ends, stops mattering, right? So you've got the introduction where she gives her research, right? A research-based opinion on how the whole Wiccan thing started. But then that's really not what the book is about. In fact, when I was reading the introduction, I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, am I going to really enjoy this book? But actually, then we start getting into the quotations themselves. And just like Aldous Huxley's perennial philosophy, where the various topics of importance that arise in the many religions around the world are treated per chapter with many quotations per topic. In the same way, this one gives us a general introduction to a topic, and then many quotations from the books that were discovered in the libraries and bookshelves of of Gerald Gardner himself and of the other people involved in the New Forest Coven. It's absolutely fantastic, and it might be worth in fact, going over some of the chapter headers just by going through the contents page here. And you'll see that I expect many of those chapters are going to be of interest to many of you. Stirrings of a witchcraft revival, primal religion, ancient paganism, the Christian era, secret loyalties, magics, witch ritual, sacred marriage, seeking the grail, traces in the ballads, right reverence and ecstasy, making magic, seasonal rites, martyrdom, and remembering. And you're getting quotations from works that date back from the Middle Ages to the 19th century, all across, spanning really about 1,500 years. Very, very interesting array of writings. There are no illustrations or anything like that, but that's really not the point of this book. The point is to give us an idea of the sources that were used by whoever created the Wiccan religion, whether that was Gerald Gardner himself alone, or whether it was other people and Gerald Gardner was simply a transcriber, right? So wherever you stand on that argument, in truth, I don't care that much, and that's probably why I'm very happy for this for this book to take a stand that is different from mine. It doesn't make any difference to the value of the core of the book, right? You may or may not agree with the introduction. Ultimately, the research that has gone into putting these quotations together to enlighten us on the topics of each of those chapters that we just went over is of tremendous use, tremendous value, and I'm certain that many people watching are going to be very, very interested. So this is the second edition. As I was saying, you get this very nice red ribbon. This is, I have to say, it's a larger format book than most of the Black Letter Press books that you may know of, right? Which are, I suppose, about this. Maybe this size. They're the kind of smaller hand books, whereas this is as a size of a regular hardback book. It'll sit very nicely next to most hardbacks that right, the same size as De Magia, also by Black Letter Press. So there we are. All in all, I'd say it's an essential book for anyone who is interested in Wicca. Just simply to have access to that wellspring of thought that the founders of Wicca had access to, and just to understand their inspirations and their sources. So that's terrific. All right, there we go. That's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, sign up down below to subscribe to all the videos that I put out, and click that bell button to make sure that you don't miss any of my videos. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.